welcome to all of you present here today to celebrate with us the special occasion of International Women's Day. Wishing you all a very happy Women's Day. Every year around the world, on the 8th of March, we celebrate the social, political, economic, and cultural achievements of women. The day also marks a call to action for accelerating gender parity, hearing out loud the voices of women with respect, rising above the linings of genders, and looking forward with better clarity to the needs of humans. International Women's Day is not a country, group, or organization oriented, but rather belongs to all of us. And so, Gloria Steinem, a world renowned feminist, activist, and journalist, once rightly marked that the story of women's struggle for equality belongs to no single feminist, nor to any one organization, but to the collective efforts of all who believe in human rights. It would be interesting for all of you to know that International Women's Day is being celebrated ever since 1900s, but it was in 1975 that the United Nations officially recognized and celebrated the day. And in 1996, for the first time, annual theme for Women's Day was announced, and ever since then, we have been celebrating this day with a theme. The theme for the year 2021 is Choose to Challenge, which clearly states that women are responsible for their own thoughts and actions every day and that they challenge the world every day. It further signifies that women can choose to challenge gender bias and inequality that is there in the world. Through International Women's Day, each year the world inspires various women and celebrate their achievements. However, women should not be respected and celebrated on just one day, but rather at all the times by giving them their basic rights and opportunities, considering them equal to their male counterparts, and doing our bit to empower women on both individual and organizational level. With that thought, I would begin the program by extending a formal welcome to all our esteemed guests for the day. First, I'd like to introduce to you all Dr. Madhu Vinay, Honorable Vice Chancellor of the ICFAI University, Dehradun. Welcome, sir. Dr. Vinay has around 3 decades of rich experience in the field of education, training, planning, management, and consultancy. Sir is acknowledged not only for establishing institutions, but also leading them to excellence in academics and research with this path-breaking initiative. Sir has recently been awarded with the Corona Warrior Award and Vice Chancellor of the Year Award. Sir, I would now request you to share some few motivational words with all of us here. Over to you, sir.
Good afternoon. First of all, very happy International Women's Day to all of you. And today's speaker, MS Priyanka Singh and Shogun Gupta, and my head of the department, Dr. Meera Bandari, and Atulya, my colleagues, dear students. Keeping the theme of 2021 of Women's Day, I have certain things to talk to you. Every invocation in Vedas has a visionary and seer called Rishi. And the divinity to whom the invocation is addressed called Devata and the Chandas, called the meter. System, organization, the form of the verse. Thus, there are seer, spirit, and formation. Seer is the Rishi who may be a male or a female. The spirit is the God, consciousness, and the form is the divine of female aspect. Again, here I want to focus is the form is nothing but the divine of the female aspect. The first verse of Rig Veda is addressed to a fire god that is called as a Agni. The Rishi Madhu Chandas in the meter called as a Gayatri. It is called as a Gayatri. Thus, Gayatri is the first mother divine. Gayatri is the first mother divine. The most famous Savitri invocation is also Gayatri form. Both Savitri and the Gayatri are in the formation of the God. The metric form of verse itself is the Shakti again. The metric form of a verse itself called a Shakti. The power, while the inspiration from the poem is a consciousness. Whatever the poem we are chanting, it's a consciousness. Thus, consciousness and the power are packed together like energy and the atom, letter and the spirit, like matter and the mind. Apart from the darshan, thus consciousness and the power are packed together like energy and atom, letter and the spirit, and like matter and the mind. Apart from darshan of Gayatri, again I am talking about the Gayatri, is a material form. In the very first verse, in the third innovation of the first book of Rig Veda, Mother Savitri appears. The most powerful prayer called is a Gayatri in the morning. So when you wake up in the morning, everybody in our Indian system, they talk with the Gayatri, again the woman power, Shakti power. And when it comes to Savitri in the afternoon and Saraswati in the evening, here I want to stress that the woman is the more Mahashakti in the world and in the Indian system. That is Gayatri, Savitri, and Saraswati. Gayatri is the mind power. So without mind, nobody can do anything. Savitri is the body power, and the Lakshmi Saraswati is the intellect power. Thus, this one prayer gives strength and power to mind, body, and intellect. Let us now experience the power of a strength of a Gayatri, which is a combination of integration of the woman that is called as Parvati, Lakshmi, and Saraswati. Without these four words, no human being in the world can survive. I think in the intention of this 2021 theme is also same thing. Day to day, you have to pray the woman. Without woman, nothing is there. In my terms, the woman daily prayer, morning is the Gayatri, afternoon is the Savitri, evening is the Saraswati. That is nothing but Parvati, Lakshmi, and Saraswati. With these words, once again, I happy International Women's Day to everybody. You are power. You are Mahashakti. You are the Mahashakti completely. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir. That was indeed very inspiring for all of us here. I now introduce you to Brigadier Rajiv Sethi, Registrar of ICFAI University, Dehradun. He was an Army aviation pilot and also an alumnus of National Defense Academy and Defense Services Staff College. Brigadier Sethi served in Army in various appointments and various terrains. He commanded his unit in extremely terrorist-infested area in Jammu and Kashmir. He also commanded a brigade in Northeast and was with Cabinet Secretariat handling special force operations. We welcome you, sir, and looking forward to hear from you.
Okay, thanks, Lippy, and I hope I'm visible. I'm visible and audible.
Sir, you're audible.
Okay. Firstly, a very happy Women's Day to all of you, and despite the fact that we celebrate this Women's Day since 1925, there has been a certain amount of improvement in the way the women are treated in the workforce and let's say in the society itself. However, there is a large amount of ground still to be covered by in the way the society treats women. It is in the numbers of the various board members and various top, let's say, industry as well as in the government that you realize that the women are still not got their correct representation. I'm happy today you're going to be getting to exposed to two different good speakers who are going to be covering certain aspects. However, I'll just take a minute and will recite a little bit of a beautiful poem that I came across today. It talks about why women are much on a higher pedestal than men. It's in Hindi. वो जुर्म सहकर भी रिश्ते इसलिए निभा जाती हैं क्योंकि वो अपने बूढ़े माँ बाप का दिल नहीं तोड़ना चाहती। वो हालात से समझौता इसलिए भी कर लेती हैं क्योंकि उन्हें अपने बच्चों के उज्जवल भविष्य की चिंता रहती है। वो रिश्तों में जीना चाहती हैं, रिश्ते निभाना चाहती हैं, रिश्तों को अपनाना चाहती हैं, दिलों को जीतना चाहती हैं, प्यार पाना चाहती हैं और प्यार देना चाहती हैं। हम सफर, हम कदम बनाना चाहती हैं। इसीलिए औरतें पुरुषों से बहुत ऊपर होती हैं। Thank you, Lippy. You can carry on.
Thank you so much, sir. That was a beautiful poem recited by you, and also very true in every sense. We now welcome our first guest speaker, that is Miss Priyanka Singh, who is a fitness coach at the Doon School. Miss Singh is a winner of FICCI Half Marathon in the year 2018 and the winner of Half Marathon in the year 2017. She's a certified yoga instructor and has worked with a number of gyms both in India and abroad. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you so much, Lippy. Good afternoon to all of you. I'm here to talk about a little fitness. That's something I do as passion and also that I follow as profession. So, uh, good health. Good health means well being, and well being is natural to existence. It is natural to walk, run, jump, or climb trees. The way the human body has been designed, it has been designed to work and move in an efficient manner, one that is natural and unique to our body. Each and every part of the body has been given just the right amount of balance, flexibility, and rigidity. Our mind and body has been made in such a way that they function better when they are working. And it works best when the mind and body are in sync with each other. Ladies and gentlemen, my topic for today is Let's Be Active, Health for All. Health. Now, when we talk about the aspects of life, health is not one of them, it's the only aspect. Without good health, we are nowhere. Even if you have noble thoughts like doing good in the world and saving someone's life, tell me how good you are if this body is not there to help you. So, when we talk about goodness, goodness doesn't start from home, it starts from here, your basic abode, your body, where you primarily live and spend your whole life in. It's quite aptly said that health is wealth. Otherwise, how can you possibly think of generating wealth without good health? as I previously mentioned, that this mind and body has been designed in a way that in order to keep it functioning, it needs to be continuously working. So, continuously working means physically working. So, either you are taking your dog out for a walk, or gardening, or playing with the children non virtually. These are some of the basic things that help your mind and body tremendously. Now, the best thing is the primitive man never had such problems because the primitive man lived in a jungle. So he had to run to protect himself. He had to climb trees to pluck fruits, or had to go fishing to fill his stomach. However, now with all the luxuries present, humans don't have to do these things that they had to do it for survival previously. We can get everything, just about everything, on our doorstep. We can just lift our little fingers and tap the magic gadget, and we can even get the food on our doorstep. Don't you think so? Life has surely become so easy. But the way this body has been designed and the way it functions, it still remains the same, fortunately or unfortunately. So now the active work of the human body that we had to do previously, now it has all become a luxury. For example, going for a morning walk, going for the gym, lifting weights. These are few examples where we actually now pay to become healthy. I am also doing that. I am being paid to make people lift those weights. Believe me, I tell people when to breathe and when not to breathe. And believe me, I just get a kick out of it. It is actually what I'm doing. And I'm getting paid for it. Believe me, I am getting good amount for that. And just imagine, you actually lift those weights and you pay for it. We used to pay the porters to lift that luggage to take it to the railway station, right? Sometime back, if you remember. And you pay to perform those exercises, which at one time our teachers made us do as punishments. Isn't that ironic? And I am making all of you do that, and I'm getting paid for it. Good amount, thankfully. It is ironic, but guys, don't think I'm not complaining. I'm not complaining. These are the luxuries never seen by the human race before. And we worked for it. And it definitely makes our life better. Technology hasn't ruined our life. That we are capable to do ourselves. Technology doesn't take care of that. We do it ourselves, okay? Technology has enhanced our life. It has given us more time. Taking a round along the globe, just imagine, it is not impossible anymore. If you want to talk to a friend miles away, it is not a dream. In fact, the challenges that we humans seek now is how to reach another galaxy and to try to find if there's a life that exists anywhere else. Just imagine, if we have so much time in our hands, don't you think that we should invest it in making a life more meaningful? Becoming self actualized has never been so easy, and yet at the same time, so difficult. We have more distractions than challenges in our life today. Problem is the focus. Focus on wrong knowledge. Like, for example, gossiping. We all get carried by it, isn't it? Knowing fully well that it's not going to take us anywhere. But surely it is a source of entertainment for everyone. Just don't think that it's only women who are doing that, please. Men equally, okay? Please. Let's not let's not only criticize women for that. An empty mind is a devil's workshop. I'm sure all of you have heard that phrase. And in yoga, we see that human mind is no less than a monkey. Why is it called a monkey? What are the qualities of a monkey? I'll tell you. The qualities of a monkey is its unnecessary movement and imitation. An unestablished mind has these two qualities. That is why it is referred to as a monkey. Our mind has been made in such a way that if it is let loose, it'll get into every possible rubbish it can. That is why Osho mentioned, mind is the best servant and the worst master. Best servant and the worst master. That is why you see miserable lives everywhere around you, because we have let a mind lead. We are supposed to lead it. But on the other hand, the mind is leading us. That is why we are in a mess. The key to get the mind on track is awareness. It is essential to understand what we mean by this term. For most people, awareness means mere knowledge. So we often say, I'm aware of that, which means to comprehend, to know, to feel what is happening around us. Most people comprehend very little of what is occurring around and within them. Now, this is a low state of awareness. As we realize and relate to more things internally as well as externally and see the underlying unity in everything, we naturally develop more awareness. As this happens, we break down the barriers and limitations of the mind. If you're able to watch what your body and mind do, then this means that your nature transcends the body and mind. It means that there is something that is able to watch what is occurring. This will be a high state of awareness. Now, usually, awareness is clouded by thoughts. Most of our day goes feeling anxious, negative, or low because of the kinds of thoughts we have. These thoughts are fueled by us. This is our own mind. Nobody, just about nobody, has control over our thoughts but us. How can we quieten our mind? That is totally up to us. On that note, I would like to share a small video here so that we understand about how the brain functions. It's a small video, just bear with me.
Indian dude with far too much time on his hands. And these guys are cutting-edge, pioneering brain scientists. Now, what could they possibly have in common? Welcome to the Science of Yoga and What It Means to Us, Part 1. Let's go back thousands of years to the ancient world. The first mystics would leave their towns, villages, and everyday distractions to find solace in the forest. There, in isolation, they studied their own inner experience. As they looked within, what they found was a myriad of thoughts and emotions, just like most people would. And also, like most people, these thoughts seemed to cause anxiety and seemed to serve no real practical purpose. But with vigilant observation, the mystics found that when they stopped feeding their thoughts, they started to get quieter and quieter. They were quite literally changing their state of mind from the inside out. The mystics in India called this practice vipassana, which means clear seeing. Today, we call it meditation. Now, fast forward to the early 2000s. Scientists studying the brain and the effect of brain exercises started to make some surprising discoveries. Brain science was still in its infancy, and in fact, up until late into the 20th century, it was still thought that the brain was solid, like concrete, unable to change in its structure. But then, they discovered a phenomenon called brain plasticity. It seemed the brain could actually change. It could be shaped and rewired by exercise. And guess what they found had the power to cause structural changes? Yep, meditation. Several studies found a whole host of structural changes in the brains of people who meditated. Here are some of the changes they found. The default mode network, which could stimulate wandering and aimless thought grooves, was quietened down. The amygdala, which processes fear and anxiety, reduced in size and activity. Grey matter in the sensory regions of the brain increased, which in turn enhanced sense perception. These were startling discoveries, and it became clear that there was something to this ancient practice after all. But it's not just neuroscience. The field of psychology also owes some recent developments to this Eastern philosophy. The mystics of old times claimed this simple fact: with regular insight, you'll see that your thoughts are not real. And the recent success of cognitive talk therapy uses this exact same strategy. The subject learns to see the falseness of their own repetitive thinking. They're simply an interpretation of what is going on, not the actuality of what's going on. So, what's the difference, you might ask? Well, say someone next to you makes a sarcastic remark. This may trigger you to start thinking about a number of possible explanations, and they could all be completely false. For example, she did that on purpose. Everyone does this to me. They're all planning to keep me down, etc. See how these thoughts lead to other thoughts which multiply with each other? The philosophy of Vipassana is to see that these thoughts are nothing more than stories in your head. And as you get better, they stop multiplying so quickly. But don't be disheartened. It takes practice. By the way, you don't necessarily have to look like a yogi or sit like a pretzel to meditate. So whether it's breathing meditation, watching meditation, dancing or fishing meditation, whatever clears your mind is a great place to start. All of these techniques contribute to a healthier mind. There is something that brain science is starting to substantiate, and it's what ancient mystics said all those years ago.
Thank you so much. I hope you like that video. Now, going back, now, as you understand that this is something that so many yogis had said this years, centuries ago, that which neuroscience is discovering now. Anyhow, the crux of the matter is how to quieten our minds. And the video already suggested that you don't need to look like a pretzel and sit in some meditative pose, or you don't have to renounce the worldly pleasures to quieten your mind. Actually, the real yogi is the person who can quiet himself in the midst of chaos. You can pick any activity. It could be dancing, it could be yoga, it could be walking, cycling, weight training, anything. Every activity is going to help you become stronger. The key is to do it with awareness, staying in the moment. Now, when I say staying in the moment, let's have a little practice. When I say staying in the moment, it's mean what is happening now, not the moment past, okay? Now, right this second, now. I am not talking about the now that I said a second before. I said now. Now, again, you're thinking about the second that has gone. No, I'm talking now. Don't think about the second gone. Now, absolute present. When you are focused in the absolute present, the negativity goes away from you. Similarly, keeping yourself active and keeping your lifestyle healthy are also the different activities which are going to keep you away from negativity. It presents you with a very interesting hormone, and I'm sure all of you have heard about it. That's called endorphin. Endorphins are released in response to pain or stress. Believe me, it has just a similar effect like the effect that you get from drugs. So you really don't have to go to drugs. Endorphins are the way to do it. Get into workouts, start exercising, start coming to me, and I'll make sure that you get those endorphins. Okay, this is not to advertise myself, but I'm just telling you, you can get active wherever you want on your own. Endorphins are released in response to pain or stress. Okay, so you don't have to go for mental stress. Okay, to minimize, what does endorphin do is they minimize discomfort and pain, and they maximize pleasure. This is just a nature's way of rewarding you for working out or being active. Endorphin release is linked to continuous exercise. So the research from 2011 suggests that endorphin release occurs after 30 minutes of exercise. Moderate intensity exercise usually works the best. So you don't have to get into something really, really hardcore. So moderate exercise means that your heart rate and breathing speeds up. You can talk, but you might be a bit short of breath, and you will probably sweat at least a little. And the good news is that group exercise may give you a better endorphin boost. So you don't have to do anything alone. You can always catch a buddy and do your physical workouts along with them, because studies have shown that participants were observed to have more endorphin boost when exercising in a group than when they did the similar exercises alone. Now you have to understand the basic fundamental reasons to exercise, which are three. The first is to keep the body working efficiently. Second, to keep a correct posture. And third, to breathe correctly. These three aspects are going to help you to go through life smoothly. My next video is about this, how body posture affects your mind. Please bear with me again.
To the Science of Yoga, Part 2. In ancient times, the yogis in India intuited that bodily posture has a profound effect on a person's state. They believed that tiny channels called nadis ran through the human body, carrying through them a force called prana, life force. And it was said that if these nadis were kept aligned, the flow of prana would be smooth and unhindered, contributing to overall health, kind of like a well-oiled machine. When these nadis get impeded, energy builds up and we feel it as pressure. The idea of yoga is to counter these misalignments and bring the body back into its natural state. The yogis saw the body and mind not as separate entities, but as a single continuum, both influencing each other. So if the body was kept energetically balanced, the mind would follow suit. But what's the need for this, you might ask? Well, years and years of ignorance, smartphones, TV watching and poor conditioning has kicked many people's bodies out of balance and made them habitually misaligned. Could watching our posture be at least one way of countering this trend? According to Western science, the answer is yes. Here's what some studies have showed. Simply sitting up straight affects your mood to the point that you're more likely to remember positive memories as opposed to negative ones. It's also shown to reinforce confidence. Standing up straight has shown to increase testosterone levels and decrease cortisol, which is known as the stress hormone. And this may well be because certain postures, or asanas, claim to affect the organs in a positive way. So could it be that the unhindered flow of prana through the body makes us feel more inhabited, calms down a wandering mind and energizes the body? Is this another area that yogis and scientists can agree on? Another separate area of yogic study is the breath. Do you know that we breathe approximately 23,000 times a day? And for most people, these are shallow chest breaths, usually involving the intercostal muscles, especially in times of stress. But they pale in comparison to their counterpart, diaphragmatic or belly breaths, known by the yogis as Adam Pranayama. Of course, you're not actually breathing air into your stomach, but it's the diaphragm that's doing the work, not the chest muscles. This type of breathing not only improves lung function, fitness, and posture, it's also said to activate the vagus nerve, triggering the parasympathetic relaxation response. This is evidence of a stunning link between breathing patterns and the nervous system. So while our society thinks mental health is confined purely to the brain, our yogic friends of olden times said that the mind and body are inseparable. Yogic practice or awareness, whether postural or breathing, does, it seems, have a profound effect on our state of being.
Thank you so much. Now I am going to demonstrate 3 asanas for you, which helps you realigning your spine, helps you refocus, and also gets the posture absolutely correct. So if you want, you can join me with this. So the first asana, which is extremely easy, is called the Tarasan. So you keep your feet 1 foot distance apart, which is your own foot. So you keep 1 foot distance apart, the foot. You interlock your fingers, take your arms up above your head, absolutely straight, arms slightly behind your ears. You inhale and you stretch and go on to your toes. You look at any one fixed point right in front of you. Stay here for almost about 30 seconds to 1 minute and then slowly release. You can repeat this for about 3 to 4 times and then you're done. You don't need a lot of space for doing this asana. The second asana is Tarasan. I always suggest that you do it with the wall because it makes sure that the asana posture is absolutely correct. Because till the time the posture is not correct, there's no point of doing any asana. So the second is you keep the feet together. Again, the hands go exactly in the same way like it was in Tarasan. You inhale when you're standing straight. When you exhale, you bend on the side, making very sure that nothing, no body part leaves the wall. You inhale, you come back up. You exhale and bend on the other side. And you exhale and you come back up and release. So this is the second time. Again, you can repeat this 2 to 5 times. The third asana is called Kati Chakrasana. For that, you need to keep your feet wide apart, more than your shoulder distance. The feet needs to be facing forward. You're going to inhale when you're standing straight. And while twisting, you're going to exhale while you twist. Now, one very important thing is when you're twisting, you make sure that none of your heels are going to leave the floor. They're going to be firmly planted on the floor. So you're going to inhale when you're standing straight, exhale, and you twist. Inhale, and you come back. When you twist, you're supposed to stay there for 2 to 5 breaths, and then you come back again, and you repeat it on the other side. And you come back. So these three are the asanas, which you can do anytime, anywhere. These asanas are extremely important for those people who are more exposed to the laptop viewing, have sitting jobs, and you can do that anytime, anywhere in your small space of the office. It won't take long. So I hope from now, I just want to end my talk with this little something that I heard a long time before, and it really inspires me, and I think that I'm going to end my talk with this. It says that why I respect fit people, and I somehow consider this that I am one of them, hopefully. So it says why I respect fit people, because fit people with a physique is much more than how good they look. A well-built physique is a status symbol that reflects your hard work. Money cannot buy it, nor can you inherit it. You cannot steal it, nor can you borrow it. You cannot hold on to it without constant work. It shows dedication, it shows discipline, it shows self respect, it shows dignity, it shows patience, work ethic, and passion. Being fit is far more than just looks. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen, for hearing me out this afternoon. And I really hope from now on, you're going to take this message forward to your peers and to the younger generation that you have. Thank you so much.
That was indeed very enriching for all of us here. I think whatever you have explained is absolutely correct. We do take our health for granted, not only our physical health, but also our mental health. But I'm sure all of us today will take some lessons from here. And now we have with us our next guest speaker, Ms. Shagun Gupta, who is a linguist at Zen3 Tech, Hyderabad. She's worked with Apple on project Siri India, handling Hindi and Punjabi data. She's also worked as a part-time freelancer for various minor and major projects, such as valence changing operations in marrying language. Ma'am, I welcome you here and looking forward to hear from you.
Hello, everyone. Thank you, Lippy, and happy Women's Day to everybody. And I really liked the previous talk where Priyanka was talking about yoga and actually about fitness. And yeah, so these things are very important to us, but we tend to ignore all these things. And also with that, I believe some grooming skills, which are very important. So I will be sharing 5 conventional or unconventional grooming skills with you guys. And for that, let me introduce myself a bit, that I have never been into one category of careers. So right now I am a linguist, and working on Siri, yes. But I have done BTech and I have been a BPO, and there I, got interested in linguistics and language teaching, basically, which led me to ICFAI, and also the reason that I'm here right now in front of you guys. And ICFAI had been a good experience for me. And then after that, I did Masters and MPhil from Delhi University. Then I forwarded into linguistics professionally, and I'm exploring yoga, for which that is why I was thinking that the previous talk was really helpful for me as well. And I like keep trying new things. And you will understand one thing, that today on Women's Day, we are not really talking about something which is mandatory only to women. Health is important for everybody, not only women but men, but children, everybody. And grooming skills as well are important to everyone. So I believe that Women's Day is not to, make women superior or men if inferior or anything like that. It is basically for equality. We are fighting for being equal, not really being superior to anyone. So with this, I'll start my session. So the first point I would like to stress on is, what is grooming? Understanding grooming. Grooming is not just the act of dressing up well. It is not only that. It is actually the combination of all those activities which lead to a skilled behavior. So skilled behavior is can be of anything, can be of teaching, can be of, becoming whatever, becoming an engineer, becoming an artist, becoming anything. For anything, you need to be skilled in that behavior, right? Which is why it is not a one time process. It is a lifelong process. You cannot just say that my part of grooming, or my grooming has been done, now I'm all set. No, you can't do that. This is a consistent effort, even if you are 5-year old or you are a 50-year-old person. You need to be consistent on becoming keep grooming yourself. So for this, the second point I would like to stress on is confidence. You need to believe this, and I need to put it forward that sometimes we do think that, the other person is more confident than me, or, the other person can do everything, but I can't, I have stage fear, etc. But no, that is like, some people actually train themselves subconsciously, but some they require conscious effort, right? So we need to teach ourselves. We need to teach ourselves that confidence with which, we can portray ourselves in front of the crowd. And it is important for you to get your place in today's world. Confidence is and will always be your best friend. It is your asset. So always spend a fraction of your day in teaching yourself to be confident in your skin and your style, your talents, and whatnot, whatever it is. You always need to, keep training yourself. And with that, I lead to my third point, which is personality. Again, personality is not only your choice of clothes and style. I am not saying that it is not important. How you dress and decorate yourself is very important, as it helps others to have an initial understanding of what kind of a person you are. But you must teach yourself to be the same person from inside that you look from outside. So practice that. Sometimes we talk to people, we see people, they are something, but when we talk to them, when they speak or when they do anything, we realize that they are very different people, or they are not what they look from outside. So that we need to practice always. Second thing is language. When you talk about personality, interaction, language is the second thing that you interact with. When you are with a person, you first see the person and then you talk to the people. And language is one thing, it can tell you a lot of things about you. It can tell you from where the person is. It can tell you that I'm not from Uttarakhand. It can even tell you that, that the person is of from which region in Uttarakhand. so to say, right? So language is very powerful. I am not talking about only English or only your native language. I am talking about any language that you use. You need to have good grammar, pronunciation, and your choice of words. So choice of words is also very important. You are not really only, the motive of language is not to just convey the message, it is also to convey the intention of that message, right? So always look out for that, always keep that in mind. And then comes your gesture, etiquette, the way you eat, the way you behave, and the last but not the least, the way you think. That matters a lot, which takes me to my fourth point, which is optimism. Optimism is a grooming skill, and I cannot stress this enough. But to be an optimist is the most important and the best thing we can practice. And I'm sure yoga will help a lot for optimism and for happiness. And let me tell you from my personal experience that pessimism leads you to nothing. I mean, being from versatile careers and versatile areas, so I listen it to like I listen this a lot, that people don't get to know what am I doing or where am I going, right? So these kind of things either make you desperate, you don't do your things happily, you do your things to prove the point, to prove other people that yes, you can do this. This is not the healthy way. Also, either you make it, you leave it, you believe people or you believe other negative comments, and you just leave the things, and you stop believing in yourself. So I will say that believe in the fact that everything gets better if we work towards it. You must have heard that necessity is the mother of invention. I also want to use it not only in science but in grooming, that if it is your necessity to be happy and positive, you will invent happiness and you will invent optimism. So have faith in that. And one way to invent happiness is my fifth point, which is acceptance. Accept yourself. For this, like, I would like to start it with that I read a quote by Eckhart, who is also a spiritual speaker. He says, quote unquote, accept then act. Whatever the present moment contains, accept it as if you had chosen it for yourself. Always work with it, not against it. This will miraculously transform your whole life. So, accepting what you are is the key to your growth. Always remember that this is something we tend to forget very easily. So, love yourself, question yourself, but never blame yourself. Don't blame yourself and just move forward. You are unique, and there can never be two of you. Always believe that there is only one you, and you have to be better. Always be the better version of yourself, like Priyanka Chopra says. I'm really a good fan of her. And okay, so with this I would like to you know summarize that the 5 points: understand what exactly grooming is, confidence, have confidence in yourself, personality, work on your personality, not only internal but external as well, optimism, it will keep you going in the life, wherever you want to go, and accept yourself. Always accept yourself as you are. And why do we celebrate today? I mean, International Women's Day is celebrated to raise our voices for women's rights, right? Any kind of rights, like Lippy said in the beginning. And we can raise our voices to our rights or for our rights only when we are aware of it. Be aware of the surroundings, be aware of yourself, be aware of what is wrong and what is right. Right now, like, this is all I think I can say, and this is something really close to my heart, and I would definitely have want everybody to take some out of it. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for sharing all those important points with us, which we often forget in our day to day lives. Confidence is definitely very important, and I think it's the best jewelry a woman can have. And with that, I would like to quote Mother Teresa here, who once said that I cannot alone change the world, but I can cast a stone across the river to create many ripples. On that note, I would ask you to make a difference, think globally, and act locally. Make every day an International Women's Day. Do your bit to ensure that the future for our girls is bright, equal, safe, and rewarding. With that, I now express my deep sense of gratitude to both our guest speakers, Ms. Priyanka Singh and Ms. Shagun Gupta, Vice Chancellor Sir, Dr. Mudhu Vinay, Brigadier Rajiv Sethi Sir, for taking out time from their busy schedules and marking this program with their glorious presence. I also thank my colleagues for making this event a success. A big thank you to our HOD, Dr. Meena Bhandari, our faculty, Ms. Atulya Verma, and Ms. Swati Raturi for extending their constant support and assistance. No, last but not the least, I would like to thank the IT team headed by Mr. Akhilesh. Also, I would like to tell you here that this is not the end of the program. Now, the program would be continued by the ICFAI Law School. So please be logged in to hear from the other speakers. And yeah, over to you, ma'am.
Prachi ma'am, are you there?
Yes, sir.
Please continue, ma'am.